Fank is in the comments here on YouTube on my channel, child. He said he subscribed, but I didn't really see the subscription. But he watched my last review on Ready to Love. He said he's never been called a fake ass Nigerian guy before. This was the first time. I'm glad I could be his first. Hey y'all. Welcome back to my channel. I said hey.
Hey.
Welcome back to my channel.
Hey, girl.
Hey, y'all. I'm Jasmine W. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, y'all know I like to jump right into it. But first, I must let you know, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, baby, what are we doing? And
why are we doing it?
Why are we doing it? Okay, why are you here?
Period.
Support black women creators, honey. Anyway.
I
also, y'all know I love to support black businesses. At the top of every episode, I have these cute handmade earrings from, and they're made by, of course, a black woman. So I wanted to shout her out. I forgot the name, so I'm just going to let my inner me handle where these are from.
You can go to lightandrose.com. The link is below. Love them.
Awesome. Thank you for the earrings. And, I will be in DC on September 24th at the DC Comedy Loft. Tickets to the show are below. People have been asking me, Jasmine, how long is your set? Typically I do 45 minutes to an hour. And of course, I'll have to meet and greet anybody who wants to stick around and chat with me after the show. Take pictures, stuff like that. So I can't wait to see you guys in DC. I will have security, so don't try to act up, okay? Let's get into Married at First Sight. Let's get into Ready to Love. This is the episode, is Getaway Part 2. Let's get into it. Okay. First of all, the one thing I will say is bye, Sierra. Sierra went home this episode, at the top of this episode. I really thought that Jessica was going to go home, and I was really hoping that she would go home, but I guess they kept her around probably for drama. I don't know.
I do not know.
Because Jessica don't have no connections. Sierra had a better connection with Mariariar than Jessica. So I don't know why Marciere kept her. I really don't know. I can't fathom it. But anyway, Sierra said she's learned that now when it comes to dating, she just wants to have fun. And listen, I'm right there with you, sister. I wrote down, I know that's right. Anyway, Janelle got to it, baby. Immediately after Sierra went home, Jessica said, now who in the hell called Jessica combative? Combative meaning, I think I looked it up and it means you just like to argue, you be ready to argue. And really, we haven't seen Jessica be combative, but we have seen Janelle be very combative. She love to argue, honey. We've seen her jump out of her seat, get ready to fight, scream, yell, at least 4 times. If you don't know, baby, it's you're the combative one. And it doesn't matter if you're a black woman, a black man, baby. At the end of the day, I think that is a very, being combative, being aggressive, and having an attitude. I make content about those things. It's a very dangerous stereotype, right? But sometimes
it ain't a stereotype for her.
You be combative, aggressive, and you have an attitude. Just because it's a dangerous stereotype, right? It's a dangerous stereotype because oftentimes black women are absolutely not that.
And we get labeled to be that way.
But like with Jessica, Sierra, with Lee, with Aries, these women, the majority, this is a really good sample size, right? The majority of the women on the show are not combative, are not aggressive, don't have attitudes, and they're not angry. But Janelle is.
Period.
So what is this? What, like 10%?
Right.
10%. This is a nice case study here. And the media and white supremacy will make you, will try to convince you that all or the majority of black women have these temperaments. And that's just simply not true. And the other reason why that is a very problematic stereotype is because we make the assumption that other women are not those things. They're not aggressive. They're not combative. When that's not true either, right? So it's not just about us as a community. It's comparing us to other communities, white women, and saying that they're not those things. When the reality is, I would be safe to say that 10% of all women are ready to argue.
Ready.
Like, you get 10 women in the room, there's always going to be one who ready to go back and forth with you about something. Okay? No matter what their background is, their race is, their nationality is, right? So yeah. Yeah, black women aren't the only people who argue and get into it. We've seen Real Housewives of New York. We've seen Real Housewives of New Jersey. We've seen Beverly Hills. Okay? So let's stop. Anyway, a little education. I'm sorry I had to go on a little rant. But anyway, Janelle said, y'all as men are supposed to cover us.
With what?
And Chris came in here asking Mark Car how he's doing.
Janelle, shut up, please.
They're supposed to cover you? Whatever that means. I guess, Janelle, you're expecting some emotional support from the men. Quentin is here. If you're looking for emotional support, this is your emotional support partner here.
Yo man.
Why are you asking Chris to provide you with emotional support when he the one who said it? Like, what? Y'all are supposed to cover us. Y'all supposed to be worried about how we're doing. Chris is the one who said it about her, so he's not worried. Like, I just don't understand this very, I guess, religious-based diction she's using. I don't understand how that applies to this particular scenario. I don't. He came in and said, Marcia, how are you doing? And she got upset because it's like, y'all supposed to be worried about us. Anyway, it's just very, Janelle has a point of view that, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, it's a bit dated, right? She's expecting her man to cover her. She's expecting her man to be the head of the household, but she also want to split bills and she want to run shit, okay? You're expecting the men to come cover you and worry about your feelings first, but you don't give a damn about their feelings. You've cussed people out and stuff like that. So it's to me, it's like, you're very, you don't want to do tarot cards because it's paganism. But how are you so traditional and also very non-traditional?
Right. It's confused.
Like, it's not really adding up for me. It's really not. It's giving mismatched. But anyway. And Jessica was asking the guys, who said I was combative? Who said I was combative? Who said I was combative? And nobody said anything. They was like, I didn't say it. And Fang, fake ass Nigerian guy,
Deny.
He was like, I don't really want to talk about it. It's nothing to talk about. You know what? At this point, there's really nothing to discuss. So I'm just going to go in here and eat a sandwich and then put my arm around Lee because she's my main girl now. That's how he sound, right? Anyway, I wrote down, Fang is too scared to say, I'm the one who said you were combative, because I felt like we had a lot of combative conversations.
He liked to be in charge. Why he scared? What he scared of?
He said it ain't worth him talking about, and he back to smiling. 5 seconds later, he was back to smiling, honey. He said he ain't worried about it. Listen, Jessica said black women are being attacked right now. Black women are being attacked. Black women are always being attacked. But him saying that you combative on this dating show, to me, I think y'all are blowing it a little bit out of proportion. A tiny bit. He didn't like you. You didn't like him. He's combative. You're combative. He can say things about you that aren't true. He can say things about you that you don't identify with. At the end of the day, this is Rated to Love.
On.
Okay? Let's talk about how black women being attacked on the streets and stuff like that. And this man just said he don't like you. And you're talking about how you're being attacked. Well, I understand that this is a show people watch and you may have like sort of a reputation that follows you. But I mean, baby, you could just let it go. We see you on the show and we see you haven't been combative. But in my opinion, it was just like, where's the fun in this? It's always something to where it's like, as a black man, I have to. Okay, we get it. Can we just talk about y'all kissing or what? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just watch the show to be entertained and not to hear y'all make up grandiose scenarios about, how you're being attacked or whatever the case is. I don't know.
I don't know, girl.
I don't know. I just feel like there are so many other scenarios in which black people are actually being put at risk or actually have issues within our community. But him just saying you combative and you don't agree, I feel like it's just a very small thing. But they made it seem like it was such a big thing. That's my issue, I guess. Because honestly, if a man told me I was combative, I would say, oh, okay.
Anyway.
It would not turn into black women are being attacked day by day. Day by day. And you tell me I got an attitude. No, this is just, it's not that, in my opinion. But whatever. And I make content about that. Very passionate about equality. Very passionate about, Chris say I always create content for black women. This is not that. This is Ready to Love, in my opinion. But anyway.
In my opinion.
I saw that the men in their quarters of the house, they had bunk beds.
Did I say that this was my opinion? Because it is.
I said, oh, hell no. And then Kat came in there to check on Maurice because she said he was struggling. I said, what is he struggling with?
Nothing.
The fact that he had to relay a message? Why is everybody acting like Mark Riccio, he was just relaying a message? Like, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. He's walking around the house distraught because he's now disrespected her. All he had to do was go to her and say, hey, I'm not the one who said it. Chris said it. And I was just there to relay a message. Nephew Tommy told me to tell the person who got eliminated I had a connection with both of you, and that's it. Of course, I don't think you're combative. I never had that experience with you. But Chris said it, that he did. And so, ultimately Sierra went home. You're still here because I have a connection with you. What's the problem?
Exactly.
That's it. That's literally it. Why are we acting like that is such a hill to climb? I don't get it. I'm like, have y'all been drinking this episode or what? Like, what is stopping you from just going to her and being like, hey, Chris is the one that said it. I was just relaying I'm the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. That's something we say as black people all the time. But they said he's shooting a messenger this episode. I don't get it. Anyway.
Pew, pew, pew.
Jessica is not Mauricio's top connection. There's no connection. Yeah, I think at one point Maurice said Jessica was his top connection. I'm like, you don't have any connection with Jessica. And I don't even know. Somebody in my comments said that if this was any other season, if this was sort of like a more realistic season, then Maurice would have been gone on episode 1. I agree. Episode 1 or 2. Why is he still here?
Somebody explain.
I don't understand. No shade. What have we seen on the show that makes Mariki Kiki a great catch? We don't know anything about him. We don't know any of his hopes and dreams. We don't know if he doesn't seem to have a good sense of humor. Okay, we don't know what he's passionate about besides the black community, but we don't know how he's passionate about that. What kind of work does he do in that? He said that sex is really important to him. Spirituality is really important to him, but we haven't seen him go on in depth about those things. I don't know if this is a producer issue and we're not seeing what we need to see to connect with the characters, or if it's just the fact that he's not that great of a catch based on what they've shown here, and he should have gone home. He doesn't seem to know how to communicate, okay? He's a father. He's I believe he's an ex-husband, but he's afraid to go to this woman and just say, hey, I'm not the one who said it. I have feelings for you. He doesn't seem to be a great communicator.
At all.
You know what I mean? He looked like he 5'5". Ooh. Please tell me what about this man is just so captivating. I see he got a little shiny hair and waves. And y'all like that because of white supremacy and stuff like that. But baby, what is it about him that's really giving? What's giving? I don't know. Anyway, Lee was fishing with Quentin and somebody else. I can't remember who else was there. And she was having a good time, honey. She was in her flirting bag. I love Lee. She's so gorgeous. Gorgeous. She just gets more gorgeous every episode, don't she? Anyway, Janelle was across the river, honey, yelling, babe, babe, did you catch a fish?
I was scared.
Here she is not wanting to participate in the activity again. Janelle, what do? What do you like to do? You don't like to dance. You don't like to do the yoga. You don't like to fish. What do you like to do? What are your interests? Okay? Besides reading the Old and the New Testament, honey, and then using it to your advantage whenever you'd like to. What do you like to do? Girl, anyway, she's over there talking about and you know, whatever. And Lee tells Quentin something like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but she's like, oh, that's, you know, that's your girl. And Quentin is like, yeah, baby, I'm trying to catch dinner for you. And Lee's over here like, baby, Quentin, don't you see that Quentin likes this woman? I'm sorry, he's a lost case. Quentin likes her. I don't know what he sees besides the pretty face, honey, but he like her, okay? And that's the reality of it. And if I was Lee, I would have stopped flirting with him 2 days ago. I would have stopped flirting with him. He would have gotten none of my attention, especially after he yelled, I'm trying to catch something for you, and I'm standing here next to you. Oh no, baby. I would have dropped the line, the parade and everything right then. And I would have said, I'm out. I'm going to take a shower.
Bye.
Because what I'm not about to do is sit up here and be flirting with somebody who's not flirting back with me. Period. Like, anyway. Fang ended up getting Lee some sandals, and we didn't really see the brand because maybe they couldn't show the brand on TV or something like that. We just saw that they were pink, and Lee was very happy. She was very grateful for the sandals. She loved them. Okay.
What's next?
I don't know. Like, me, I don't know what type of woman I am. I feel like we have to really be together for you to get me some sandals that I like. Or I feel like for me to be like, I don't know. I think if we were just dating and we've been on a couple of dates and you bought me sandals.
Cricket.
I don't know. I'm not really understanding what's, you know, I mean, I guess it's a nice gesture. It would kind of make me feel like, did your sister buy these and she didn't want them? She told them to give them to me. You know, where's the gift receipt? Like... You know, sandals is just a very odd thing. And I think this show was shot earlier this year. It was cold. Were these on sale? Do you work at Nordstrom on the weekends? Did you say, oh, these are such a good deal, I gotta get them for, like, what's the psychology behind the sandal? Because I feel like if I'm dating somebody and we've only been on a couple dates, you know what I would really love? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe like, you know, I went on a couple dates with somebody and I was like, hey, I have this yellow dress. I'm waiting to wear it. Yeah, maybe you'll take me somewhere and I can wear it. It's a really special dress. And maybe somebody bought me some some yellow earrings, or like, you know, earrings are a little bit cute because they're like up by the face. I don't know what it is. Or maybe they bought me like a little bracelet, like, oh, this is like a little thin, like little yellow bracelet. It doesn't have to be like expensive jewelry, but like, oh, something you can wear with your yellow dress, you know, something that has some thought to it. I just think that a random pair of sandals is a little bit odd to me. Let's take a break and talk about Fang for a minute.
Oh Lord, here she go.
So Fang is in the comments here on YouTube on my channel, child. He said he subscribed, but I didn't really see the subscription. But he watched my last review on Ready to Love. He said he's never been called a fake-ass Nigerian guy before. This was the first time. I'm glad I could be his first. He said that, oh, he's never been called fake before, but his comment said, but I like you, so it's okay. Then he proceeded to go to my Instagram and like a couple of pictures and follow me there as well. Welcome to the subscriber club, Fang. I was like, baby, did he watch the whole episode? Because I literally really ripped him to shreds, honey, for saying that he don't believe in equality. And I don't go back on nothing I said. Everything I said, I meant. Every word.
Every sentence.
I don't understand how you could say you don't believe in equality. And I really think instead of trying to, be cute with me in the comments, you should have been saying, hey, actually, I do believe in equality. That's actually not what I meant. Whatever the case was. But you just skipped right over that and whatever. Anyway, last episode we were talking about whether Fang had a lace piece, okay, or not. And guess what, baby? The comments, y'all supporters, y'all don't play, because somebody sent me pictures of Fang before his hair piece or hair transplant, whichever one he had, and after. And here are a couple photos.
Ooh. What y'all got to say now?
Looks like he's been in the gym, okay? But it also looks like he's been either on the surgery table, honey, or in a little wig shop. Ooh. No shade, honey. I always say, listen, a lot of women are always talking about how they have problems with men wearing wigs and stuff like that. Men that they are sexually attracted to or interested in wearing wigs. I don't have a problem with it. Baby, if you feel good and confident in it, you feel good and confident in it. But this just solved the mystery, okay? It is definitely a little hair piece or a little hair plug, okay? I don't know which one.
A unit.
But it is giving very much peace, okay? Because I know the way the tracks look when you shine a light on it. In a couple of episodes, he was in the sun. This episode, a couple scenes, he was in the sun, and it was giving that brown reddish texture like your tracks do when it's in the sun. No shade though, honey. I'm just putting it out there. But I'm not mad, Fang. Go ahead and wear your wigs, honey. I think it look good. You can cut down on it. You could do a little bit more fading, so it's not so heavy at the top. But honey, I think it looks fine. Anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Anyway, let's move on to Jessica and Mariki okay? They sat down so that they could squash the beef they had. I wrote down, Mariki looked a little nervous, didn't he? And Jessica said, I am hurt. And she said, it was your choice of words. And I wrote down, it was Chris. Why can't you just say it was Chris? Anyway, Jessica decided she no longer was interested in Mauricio at this point. But I'm like, you're not interested in this man because he's repeated what another man said as feedback to you before elimination. I think it's very odd. Just say you're not into him just because you're not into him at this point. A lot of people in my comments said she wasn't into him before, and I agree. I don't think she was really into him before. That's fine. She don't have to be. But yeah, just say that. And I also wish that because Jessica doesn't have any more connections, I wish she would say, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and leave. Why are y'all not leaving the show whenever you don't have any more matches? That's the whole point. You know what? I'm not really understanding that. I wrote down, Chris is trying to be the number one guy on the show. He wants to have his litter to pick from. That's why he's flirting with Aries. He's flirting with Lee. He's flirting with, who else? He's flirting with Aries, Lee. He was flirting with Jessica, but not anymore. And he's flirting with Kat. I don't think that he has a connection with any of these women. He just wants to be the last man standing with his pick of who to choose. I think that this for him is all about popularity and perception, right? He wants people to perceive him as the man, that guy. And so he's going to act accordingly with all of the women, right? Aries included. Let's move on to Kat and Marier. I don't know why they went on a date. This has to be out of order because I don't believe Kat's interested in this man. I don't think that on a regular day, on a Monday, Kat would be interested in this man. I don't think that if Mariki was the last man on earth, Kat would be interested in him. I think Kat would be alone. I know what type of girl Kat is. Kat is not about to settle. And I don't think she would be with this man. But they went on a date. And I wrote down, y'all ain't compatible, girl. You know that. Anyway, Marier says he wants to be in Bali in 9 years. He wants to live abroad. I wrote down, he's fake woke to me. And never trust a man who says, I would love to live out of the country in 8 or 9 years and they have a small child.
Right. How?
Your child is 5. In 9 years, your kid's going to be 14. You're going to move to Bali? Full time?
No.
And Kat's like, yeah, I would love a guy who's willing to spend half the time out of the year. Yeah, I know you would love a guy who's willing to spend half his time out of the country, but it ain't him. I know that's not, when you imagine your man in your head spending half the time out of the country, this man don't pop up.
She imagine a little Brad Pitt, honey, a little Morgan Freeman.
The man you imagine in your head is like, like maybe somebody that look like, like Dwayne Wade or like, Wiz Khalifa or maybe like a young Denzel.
George Clooney.
Or maybe that's me. I don't know. but it ain't him.
That's you, girl.
Anyway, or or maybe like the guy, the what's the little Italian guy from 365 Days on Netflix, or maybe it's like, something like that,
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, let's move on to Janelle and Quentin. They went on a date. Janelle had the cutest dress on. I said, baby, I need the link. I need the link, honey. Can somebody find that dress and send me the link, child? Because that was the cutest dress. I was like, I love that dress. And Quentin was asking the tough questions. He says, Janelle, how do you resolve conflict in a relationship?
She don't.
And Janelle says, clear and concise communication. That's really interesting, Janelle, because I don't think your communication thus far has been clear or concise. I don't think it's been clear, concise, or calm. But I guess with your man, you provide a different energy than you provide around women. Is that the internalized misogyny and the permeation of the patriarchy in your head? That's what it's giving. Because I don't understand why you're here talking so sweet and you're willing to give, some of the men a little bit more grace than you giving the women. Quentin says that he needs affection and he needs to hear thank you and I love you. You know what? Unpopular opinion. Men love to hear a little thank you. Men love to hear a little thank you. They love a little sweet talk, honey. And if you give them that, it'll get you a long way. Now, don't give them a thank you if they ain't done nothing. But I love to, I love to hit a man with a thank you, baby.
Okay. And be cute, too.
Thank you, baby.
Like Beyonce said.
Get into it. Anyway, let's move on to Aries and Phil.
Oh, Lord.
I can't be telling y'all all my business, honey. Anyway, Aries and Phil, they're the boring couple. They the TBC, the boring couple. Anyway, Aries said that all of a sudden now she's thinking about Phil's finances, and Phil's finances is not financing. And she wondering if he got the finance to finance her fiscal desires. I was trying to think of another F word, but I couldn't, or PH. She's trying to figure out if his finances can facilitate what she's feeling. Anyway, he said that he had to get a job after starting a cleaning company, being an entrepreneur, which a lot of entrepreneurs have to do. That's not a huge red flag to me. It's nice that he had, some skills that he could fall back on. And he said, if you had asked me 4 months ago if I was ready to be in a relationship, I probably would have said no. That's the red flag for me, I think. What happened 4 months ago? And what have you done since 4 months ago to heal from whatever happened 4 months ago? 4 months ago is not a long time. I'm like, you've been in therapy 4 months ago? I mean, for the last 4 months, or what's going on?
Right. He ain't been nowhere.
I wrote down, Aries has bad communication, baby. Say how you feel. I feel like we're going to see, I hate to talk about future episodes, but feels like she's brought up the financial security and her lifestyle thing multiple times. And I think she's had to bring it up multiple times because she didn't say what she meant the first time and say how she felt the first time.
Right.
And so now she's having to bring it up multiple times because she's trying to slowly rip the Band-Aid off instead of just saying, hey, listen, I got 2 kids. Are you financially stable? How do you feel about finances? Do you have a savings? Do you have health insurance? You know what I mean? That's a conversation that she's ready to have with him. To be 100% honest, I don't know why she's ready to have that conversation. Y'all ain't talking about getting married. Y'all just trying to decide if y'all want to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
So why are we having a financial conversation now? I understand to have just a simple one are you comfortable in your lifestyle right now? Or would you say you have a luxurious lifestyle? Just some lifestyle questions.
Savings.
But as far as financing your sons and stuff like that, 401k, I don't know if that's necessarily a conversation they need to have right now. Let me know when you guys decide to have those conversations about finances when you're dating somebody. Is it when you're exclusive? Do you wait until you've been together a year or 6 months, or when you're moving in together or talking about moving in together? When do you decide to have those conversations, I would have liked to know if Aries saw something within Phil's lifestyle that made her feel like he's not financially stable. Right. I would like those details, you know, instead of just being like, because there may have been something that made her feel like he's not financially stable, but we're not getting that backstory, you know? I don't know. Anyway, we got to Nephew Tommy's Tickle Me Tabernacle. And with the women, and Nephew Tommy said, anybody else get any shoes?
Okay. Cricket.
Nope. Anyway, and why did Jessica say in the tabernacle that her and Mariki are tight? There's no issue between them. What happened? We didn't see that. We didn't see you guys resolve this. So now apparently you're back on good terms. I don't understand that. That's confusing. You just said you was done with him before. Anyway, I wrote down Chris is a liar and a coward. And one of the women brought this up, the fact that he's a liar and a coward. I wrote down for sure. And I think it might have been Jessica, but Jessica said, and he can't buy me anything.
Okay, girl.
And I believe that was shade towards Lee. And Lee said, well, hold on. What do you mean he can't buy me anything? He just bought me something, and it's making me feel like that's shady because you're suggesting that he can buy me something, but he can't buy you anything because I guess you make your own bread or there's nothing he can offer you, I guess. But it's just very shady the way she said it. And she was like, no, it wasn't towards you. It was towards her. It was towards her. You know, I don't know if she meant for it to be towards Lee, but it did sound like it. And Lee's an entrepreneur. I'm sure she could buy herself her own shoes, right? She has shoes on her feet in Nephew Tommy's tabernacle right now. But I feel like her saying he can't buy me anything, I feel like that's a little odd. And you know what the reality is I feel like sometimes like Jessica has been following behind Janelle. And yeah, I just don't understand the whole, I don't need a man. I can do it for myself 100%. But yes, also a man needs to cover me. No, baby, just admit like, oh, I do love a partnership. I do want a partnership. A man can buy me something. That doesn't mean that you weak or you depend on a man for everything that you like, but a man can buy you something, period. Like, what? I don't even get it. I don't get all the mental gymnastics and the way that we make
rules.
We make our lives so much more difficult and complicated than it is. I think you can be independent. Okay, you can provide for yourself. You can have a fulfilling career or passion, and you could still want a man to also take the weight off of you a little bit and still be independent and a great provider for yourself. I don't think it has to be one or the other. You know, I just hate it when we make up all these rules. Like Janelle and Jessica have all these rules, right? But then some of the rules are blurred in other areas where it just doesn't make sense. I just wish you would just give up the rules. You know, I guess that's how I feel about it. Jessica and Chris were not a connection, right? But Marier doesn't have a really solid connection with anybody, and Chris has a connection with all these people, but Chris is the one that went home. I did not understand that decision, to be honest. Chris has a connection with Lee. He was talking to Aries. And he was talking to, I think, one other person. I don't understand how they came to the conclusion that Chris went home when Marier is just out here floating and he don't have no connections with nobody.
At all.
I don't understand that.
Drama.
Anyway, Marier sat down with Aries, and Aries says that the feedback was he's a sort of a friend, and a lot of the women don't see him in a romantic light. I personally wrote down, I think Mariki Kiki lacks a little bit of confidence. Because he's not pursuing the women in a way I think he should. You know, he's kind of like laying back and he's just kind of like waddling around and just like...
Not waddling.
He's kind of like kicking his heels together and kicking rocks and stuff. It's like, baby, where is your ambition to like be with somebody? Or do you not like anybody here? I don't get it.
At all, yeah.
I wrote down he's too laid back and that ain't sexy. Anyway, Jessica sat down with Fang, and I know the producers was like, I don't know if they told Fang to take some shots before he sat down or what, honey. Anyway, but Fang definitely gave the producers exactly what they wanted to see. Jessica was like, okay, yeah, we just came back from the weekend. And he was like, yeah, it was a cool, much needed weekend. We had such a great weekend. It was so fun. It was a wonderful weekend. I really enjoyed it.
Fake.
And y'all talk about how he fake.
Like that.
Anyway, Jessica asked Fang, when was I argumentative? When was I combative? He was like, Jessica, I just said that I needed to see the softer side of you. And you telling Jessica that you needed to see her softer side, was that an argument? Because it didn't feel like one to me. You said you wanted to see her softer side. She digested the information. I don't even remember her saying much. So what was combative about that?
Nothing.
I think maybe it was because maybe she just didn't want to do whatever you said. Maybe when a woman is just not jumping to, you asking them to jump and they saying how high, you feel like it's combative. You feel like they have an attitude. You feel like they arguing with you when they're not. They're just saying, don't know about that, or no, not gonna work for me.
Not for me. Bye.
Jessica said that the use of the word combative was inappropriate. I wrote down combative wasn't inappropriate. It was just false.
Right.
Y'all act like, Demian said you was like a little porn star. You was a little stripper hoe.
Okay.
He just said you was combative. You don't agree. He don't agree. We saw your attitude and your composure during this season. Inappropriate?
Little stripper bitch.
Y'all making a mountain out of a molehill. Anyway, Fang went down lying. He said, deny. Fang said that Janelle and Jessica were mean girls, and we've seen it all season, and they are. They're not nice girls.
At least Janelle is.
I don't see any kindness oozing off of them. I think that they are mean girls, and I think that Jessica was following Janelle's lead, and Janelle's the head honcho, and Jessica's right there behind her.
Boss.
I wrote down Jessica's blush was too low. Y'all, put your blush up here, closer to the cheekbone, see? Don't put your blush here, because as you get older, when you come down, your blush is going to fall down here, and that's exactly where Jessica's blush is. Her blush is here. Her blush should be up here, but instead, it's here. So when she's not smiling during this whole scene, it drops down here. And it's actually, I think she's putting blush like almost where her contour should be. And then when she smiles, it's down here. Instead of putting her blush up here and it stays lifted. Whew. Anyway, I wrote down, Chris has reverted back to his childhood self during this disagreement with Jessica. Even the lips, the positioning of the lips is very childlike. Let's not get in. I'm no doctor. I know y'all say Dr. Jazz.
Dr. Jazz.
But there's something about that childhood lip that...
Frustrated lip.
That...
Pout.
That takes you back to your childhood. And that's exactly the way that his mouth was positioned.
Temper tantrum.
And I said, wow, he really needs to go to therapy and he needs to do some childhood trauma work or some childhood discovery work. Because the fact that you are getting so upset at the fact that Jessica is just trying to communicate with you and she's not reacting and she's not giving you any emotion, I find it to be very odd. I find it to be manipulative, and I find it to be very, very underdeveloped emotionally. He said, F you and F everything about you. That don't even make no sense. But,
how you F everything about me?
Yeah, that was it. And I wrote down terrible lineup. Oh, because I think this season's cast of Ready to Love is by far the worst set of singles I have ever seen.
Ever.
It might be the worst set of singles I've ever seen on a dating show on television, period. This is very bad. And you know what? I think I was a little bit in denial because I'm from Dallas and I wanted the singles to be really good and I wanted it to be really entertaining and juicy. This is by far the worst season of a dating show that I have ever seen.
No comment.
Anyway, let me know what y'all think. I can't wait to read y'all's comments. Like I said, come see me in DC. I can't wait to do some comedy and reveal some of my deepest and darkest thoughts and feelings. And I will see y'all later. Okay?